of his character, the Grim Reaper. He's a full cloth sim, dude.
It's not a very complicated shot. It's really just rotoscoping. Dude, PS1, dude. Oh my god.
So well done. Not a touch of CGI or even really visual effects here.
I think it's finally time that we reveal to the world our first full feature film. Happy October Halloween time as VFX artists react, and guess what? We are going to be doing some spooky clips, so watch out. I hope this video doesn't get age restricted because there's some gross stuff going on here.
We got a lot of great things to look at the day, but I'm not going to spoil any of it, so you just got to watch the video. Let's do it. Let's jump in.
Mom? No, it's me. Everything's okay.
It Follows, if you haven't seen it, which you should, it's incredible. It Follows is all about a mysterious creature that follows people. And it's way scarier than that sounds.
It doesn't matter how far away you are or how safe you are, it will find you.
It's a ghost STD.
It's a ghost, it's a ghost STD. The problem is that none of her friends can see the ghost, only her. Yeah, see, that's why they're all chilling. This is gonna get scary. Don't do this. Warning, it's time to close your eyes.
You guys should get in the water. You want to? Maybe in a little bit.
Dude, that was the loudest.
You gulp?
That was the loudest.
I've never authentically heard someone gulp in a scary situation before.
That was the loudest, the most audible gulp I've ever heard. I told you to close your eyes. Got her.
That's cool.
Woo!
Yeah.
I forgot about that part.
You know, it's a few years old. It's a low budget movie.
That was well done, though.
Yeah, I feel like the hair shot's just your classic, like, actually have somebody pull it on set and just paint them out.
Do you think she's green screened in, or is this a roto plate?
Could be a portable green screen. This is the thing where you shoot them on green screen right there on the spot. So the lighting matches perfectly, you're on the exact same camera. It's literally a flawless composite.
Yeah.
If you ever need to shoot green screen to put something in your shot, shoot them in the exact spot where they're supposed to be put in. And then you won't have to worry about any color matching.
The main thing that jumps out to me first is that we can see all of her hair going up to the top without anything obscuring it. So they had to figure out some sort of way to hold her hair without fully holding it. Like if you hold hair, you got your hand around it.
Maybe the tip top of it looks like there's some like extended hair. I think there's a touch of digital cleanup at the very tip where somebody's like got something wrapped around it, lifting up.
Yeah, because there's still gonna have to be someone there holding the hair upwards, whether it's through a rod or literally through their fingertips, and they have to be removed from the shot.
I do like the dedication to having the chair become like a CG chair that like hits something solid. Because you can't just fake that. You can't just like artificially decelerate a swing instantly.
The thing is, it's a lot easier to mimic that deceleration if you're not holding anything. And also he like lets go after the impact. So it's kind of like he's like almost like throwing it in a way.
I feel like the animation of him flying off screen, I feel like it's not that bad. I feel like they nailed the timing of it at least, and at least the angle, because it looked like they filmed the plate of him just kind of like jumping backwards, which is how I would have done it with no money, and just like rotoscope that out and animate it off screen.
I think that's exactly what he did.
His shoulders arch enough, so there is at least something of a plate of him going, huh.
Obviously it's a composited like throw.
But you know, once again, it's like, you don't see it in motion, especially in like the first time you see the shot.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You see, everything we're talking about here is on the 5th or 6th frame by frame rewatching.
Yeah. Yo, cloth sim.
Interesting, they cut right before the actual shot lands on him.
It's not a very complicated shot, but it pays off really well. It's really just rotoscoping. You got a clean plate, and then you throw a sheet over a person.
Wait,
Whoa.
wait, are you saying, I thought that was a cloth
No, that's
sim.
a CG, that's a
That's
sheet
CG,
G.
dude.
That's not
Sheet
CG
G, man.
cloth.
That's sheet G, come on.
Sheet G, Sheet GI.
Sheet generated imagery.
I mean, it looks like you just throw a sheet over a person.
I mean, you can. You could be right. That could be roto. In fact, I kind of think you are.
You guys are like, cloth sims. And I'm like, but why would you do that? You just throw a sheet over a person.
Yeah, and you just use that element and you cut it out.
God dang it.
And then you just cut their feet out with a clean plate. It's like, imagine you put a blanket on me, and then any parts of me you see, you use a masking tool. and then that's it.
Yes.
I'll give myself a spin for that. Sorry. I just think it's funny how, like, when you really analyze this stuff, you see all the shortcuts, but when you're watching the movie, it's the last thing that crosses your mind.
Yeah.
Low budget films need to hit this sweet spot of like having impact and making the shot like sell you on a story point while being as shortcutty as possible to get there. Like,
exactly.
Meaning there's tons of visual flaws when you pause it and you look at it. And I think it's a huge waste of money and time, honestly, to make your visual effects for people who go frame by frame. Don't waste your time for people who go frame by frame.
Yeah.
Just make it so it sells for the audience and that's it. That's all you need.
Okay, so this one's...
Oh,
yeah.
God, no.
I've been waiting for this one.
Yeah? So
Yeah.
this one's not quite scary, but in the theme of Halloween, death is a thing.
Wouldn't get that close if I were you. Just a suggestion.
Water's murky.
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson.
For some context, Samuel L. Jackson is like the face of this movie. He's like the biggest actor, top billed, and not even halfway through the movie, this happens.
We're gonna seal off this movie.
Oh. Ooh. Dude, PS1, dude. Oh my God.
That's some solid PS1 graphics.
So I think it is important to note that this was the hardest shot they had to try to do for this. And a studio called Hammerhead Studio worked on this VFX shot.
Oh, this is 1999.
That's some coincidence.
Yeah. This is 23 years ago that this movie came out. So this is one of those shots that I think works because it's so quick and you're not expecting it. But I don't think it holds up to time.
I love this like janky 3D model that's like basically arcade resolution. There's like zero contact shadow, zero shadows from the arms in the water.
That kind of stuff is the very first thing I noticed. And it wasn't like the shark, whatever, that's cool, but it was just like super pasty, flat, unnatural human movement. And then also there too, like how flat his clothes are compared to like the detail and patina all over the rocks and steps. That's really it. Like the shark is like...
The shark is fine.
The
shark is fine.
I mean, the shark's better too than the dummy, the digital dummy as we call them in the business.
Yeah. So when they got this render done, they were actually not happy with it, and they kept trying to do things to kind of make it feel better. They added some camera shake, they added some water splashes and whatnot, but it was the stuff on the lens that really kind of ended up bringing it all together. The water splashes on the lens.
That's not bad. Yeah.
They think that was the first time anyone had ever done something like that. You know, we do that all the time now. Like something happens close to frame, put it on the lens.
When it comes to early stages of compositing, you have screen mode or add mode, and they definitely took these like dots and they're like, screen mode, please. I need transparency, and then just brightens the background. So all these water droplets are basically little exposure pockets that just like raise the brightness of the underlying footage. It's a little odd. Definitely like early 1999 compositing right there.
So because it's additive like that, if you have something that's already approaching like a bright white, it's going to clip it totally. I mean, add mode's great for like lasers. If you really are struggling to get your laser to look nice, you use the additive mode and it just goes like, and it fries your eyes and it's perfect.
So just to set up this next scene, there's a movie called The Frighteners from an up-and-coming indie director who ended up getting his big break with the movie after this one called The Lord of the Rings. This is Weta Digital's first fully CG character.
Wow. Wow.
Right? That looked freaking sweet.
That looks really good.
For 1996/1995.
It's not only was this a long time ago, this was made by like a small handful of people, like maybe 6 or 7 people. No one told them that what they were trying to do was like not realistic to achieve. And they ended up having to literally code all of the tools they used from scratch. And the guy leading the effort on all that is none other than Matt Aitken, who sat right where I'm sitting right now a couple years ago.
No way.
The mirror is pretty sweet, but I think that's a pretty simple visual effect.
Nay, it is not. Here's the thing. The mirror is showing the background image really cleanly and then the distortion happens, meaning that your digital reflection needs to be so close to the real thing that you can't see the seams between the two. But the colors match perfectly. Like, you can see the arch of the doorway. Okay, there's the mask edge moving across the arch of the doorway there. But like, you can't really see the seam between the mirror and the digital mirror.
Oh, you know something I'm noticing? I could be completely wrong here, but I think we're seeing a limited number of bounces on the reflections too. You see all those little black strips?
Yeah.
So what happens with ray tracing, you have a ray that goes into a scene and bounces around, but if you limit those number of bounces, it hits something, then terminates. And so what you end up getting are these black areas where it just doesn't render anything. It's like bouncing off into a void. And so I think what we're seeing there are some void reflections coming through, which is something that I started discovering not too long ago with my own experiments with caustics. When I was like rendering out glass and whatnot, you can see the same thing inside glass if you limit the number of bounces. So that was what drew me first, was like, wow, that's pretty freaking sweet. And it gets crazier after that. This character, the Grim Reaper, continues to be a character through this whole movie. And he's a full cloth sim dude. Like, cloth sims weren't really a thing back then. Apparently there was like one piece of software that could do some cloth sims, but it was very difficult to use, and they had to modify it a bunch to get their shots.
They still are, like most default cloth sims.
Look at the lighting, looks so good.
That was the thing that impressed me most, the lighting. The compositing is flawless.
It's interesting how the Grim Reaper just has like black shadows. Like, there's no bounce light or really ambient light on him, and that's probably a really smart decision. Because the film stock they're shooting on also has like true blacks in it as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's very high contrast film.
So like this shot here, he just matches perfectly and then literally disappears in the blackness.
Getting colors to match like this is very, 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 very hard, especially when you're dealing with late film technology, super early digital technology. Color science is just being figured out. Film density and how to translate that into digital is just being figured out. Like, this is insane.
I feel like this movie is the epitome of clever visual effects in a day and age where those were not easy to do. And this is coming from a team that no one had ever heard of before. So this kind of came out of the blue and blew everyone away. This is the movie that got Lord of the Rings made. This was their calling card to be like, hey, this is what we are capable here at Weta. This is what I am capable as Peter Jackson. The ambition of this movie, the fact that they were able to get it done on time, all of that stuff basically convinced the network to be like, all right, make Lord of the Rings. All 3 movies at once, massive budget, here you go. And single-handedly created a visual effects industry in New Zealand.
What would Halloween be if it weren't for the kids, right? You know, we got all these gory movies, like, you know, we got Saw for adults, we got so many sequels, people love it, right? But will anybody think of the children? Well, we did. We thought of the children, we thought they would love to have a Saw made just for themselves. We made it rated G, so you can check out the rated G version of Saw on our channel tomorrow. Subscribe.
It's not rated PG, it's rated G.
Rated G for good little girls and boys.
Coochie coochie coo.
So Ridley Scott directed the first Alien, and this is Alien 2, called Aliens, directed by James Cameron.
I hope he comes on the show someday.
Dude, don't get my hopes up.
So here's the thing to keep in mind. No CGI, all practical. Can't exactly have gigantic 12-foot tall aliens fighting gigantic 12-foot tall robots. And it feels like it's that kind of crazy active editing that you kind of get from any regular movie where they just shoot coverage, right? Coverage is where like you film the entire action from one angle, and you film the entire action from another angle, and you film the entire action from another angle, and you do that and you give it to the editor, and they just pick the moments they like. But it's not shot in coverage. It's very much planned because we're going from live action moments to shots that are literally dolls and puppets fighting each other.
So I think I saw a couple shots that may have been like dolls, like doll-sized miniature work, but in those shots, I could also still see Sigourney Weaver like moving her head around. Anytime you can clearly see Sigourney Weaver's face, that has to be a full-scale shot.
Yes, that is a full-scale shot, but notice how like you're looking at just the torso of the alien. Like think about articulation, right? You can have a guy move the head, you know, he has to be in there, or even like a robotic arm, and you can have like an arm or two being moved, and you can kind of do the same thing with Sigourney Weaver, but you can't get hips, you can't get legs, you can't get walking, you can't get any of that kind of stuff. So literally, anytime we're not on a close-up and we're getting the action, you're seeing puppets. So you can actually see this doll Sigourney Weaver very clearly.
It was the one shot where I could notice that the Sigourney Weaver was actually a doll.
And it's like you can look at how they're cutting on the action, how they're replicating the movements and motions, and how each shot tells a beat of the story, even though it feels like it's just a chaotic choice. So it's like you're getting story with every single shot, but it still feels almost sloppy and like accidental, right? Like you're just barely getting these glimpses, they just barely happen to catch, even though in reality, it's a hyper planned out, meticulous scene with a bunch of technicians doing very precise movements. So well done. Not a touch of CGI or even really visual effects here in this entire sequence.
Every once in a while, we have to hold up a mirror here. We can't just talk about other people's works. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of maybe self-dunking, maybe a little bit of patting ourselves on the back too. I think it's finally time that we reveal to the world our first full feature film.
We made it back in 2008. It's not coming out now. We made it back in 2008. We're gonna look at it.
Yeah, no, it's like really old.
Dude, the comping behind the trees?
Yeah, it was really hard to do.
Other smoke? Dude, those lines?
Yeah, dude, I had no idea what I
Dude,
was
we didn't
doing.
have, look, we only had 8 gigs of RAM, all right?
Dude,
we
I
had
only had
8 gigs of RAM to do these simulations in.
Dude, this movie is so janky.
Was this like particle generated?
It's VFX, yeah.
No, I meant, but like, was the smoke being spawned from particles?
Yes,
Yeah.
As opposed to just like a big blob?
Yeah.
So intense.
It's high intensity. That's why the camera's rumbling. Oh, now we got goth.
He turned goth.
How'd you do those eye effects?
Contacts,
He just
baby.
had to wear painful.
So those were legit like
Full eye.
blackout eye contacts?
I like that shot. Boom. Yeah, Nightcrawler.
I wish we could have gotten a little more ambitious with the actual like shots there, but the actual like overall motion and animation is really sweet.
So many shots though.
Yeah.
Dude, tell me about it.
How many shots were in this movie?
We
I
never
don't know. We never counted.
no idea.
We didn't even have a spreadsheet. We just looked at the edit and we're like, what's the next shot we have to do? And we did that for a year and a half.
Oh, you want to see those cool bullet hits? By the way, go back.
I noticed on the pipe.
Yeah, by the way, expert level. Once again, expert level. Isn't that sweet?
Wait, what were those bullet hits then? Were those tracked in, or were they there the whole time and you painted them out?
Frame by frame it.
Those are real holes that you just painted out for the first few frames there.
Yeah.
Okay, and that pipe on the right is a CG pipe.
No, you just
Okay.
somebody slap them on.
Someone just wiggled as they got hit. And also, but don't you like the attention to detail of the first hit? Seeing how it goes through it and the sparks exit, and then you see in the background, it hits the ground
I
too.
wasn't even looking over there.
I know, but it's once again the little details.
Yeah,
you
that
know,
matters.
When you're making a shot like this, every ingredient has to be the best ingredient. This was truly filmmaking boot camp.
Yeah, I mean, what an experience. Like, instead of having to pay to learn how to make movies in school, we were getting paid to make a movie.
Well, technically,
it was a
we
break
weren't
even.
being paid.
We weren't going to debt. It was a break even.
I mean, sorry, we were handed a check for like 50 grand, and like we're in college, and they're like, you guys make short films. How about you make a feature-length horror film for $50,000, and here's the script. And by the way, I read the script as we're driving to go film it.
Yeah, printed it out and hopped in the car. And
It was
off we
like
went.
the script's being worked on right now, but it's like roughly, it's like a sci-fi thing. There's an infection, and we're like, okay, agree. So we're like, where are we gonna film this? Canada. So we start driving to Canada, and we get the script. I mean, I made $2,000 spending a year and a half of full-time work on
Yeah,
this.
same.
But I mean, it was whatever. I saved up some money from college. I was floating.
Also, we are watching your guys' first movie on some random YouTube channel.
No, I'm hard cringing this entire time. Like, this is tough for me. So we always talk about leaving comments on our videos. Let's see what kind of comments were left on this. Honestly, the animation of the darkness was superb. Wow, okay. Intricate plot with effective misdirections. Holds interest and keeps the viewer guessing. Great movie. The ending was good, but sad to me, though. The whole film was very, very good. Ace of... This is like the first audience reactions I've actually read to our film.
Can you scroll up?
And it's like,
scroll-
this is way more positive
When-
than I expected.
When was this posted?
Like a few months ago.
This year.
But let me see more of these comments. People liked it? They didn't think it was dumb? Wait, scroll down.
I've always
Hold on.
thought this was a dumb movie.
Yeah, it's been like 14 years since we made this.
But we know they're all wrong, right?
These have to be fake comments. Like, good movie. That's a really good
Ace
movie.
of a movie. Trust no one but your cat or dog. They can sense deception. What
Best movie yet.
Best movie yet. Cool. Thanks, Teddy. Dude, Movie Central coming in with the positivity. Dude, these are bots. Come on. Sorry, I didn't catch the name of the high school drama class that produced and directed this movie.
Corridor Digital?
On average, pretty positive, yeah.
Yeah, super positive, honestly. Like, I guess something about having those low expectations.
Unless this is very well curated comments. I don't know. I'm so skeptical for some reason.
I'm not certain if they intended this, but after watching this movie, I have an immense distrust of big corporations and military weapon design companies.
This movie made me feel like the core of all the crap in the world is big money, corpse warfare, weapon makers, and war in general.
Let this movie be a lesson to you.
I think I finally... I finally feel like I've been heard. Years.
14 years later.
14 years later, my job's done.
So seriously, like, we made this movie. This was straight to DVD. We just made it, and it went out there, and it disappeared, and like, we never saw anything else from it ever again. It was a wonderful experience. We worked with a lot of amazing people, but that was it. That was the end of it, you know? It's like, and we went on to do our careers. We did freelance effects for like 2 years, and then we started this YouTube channel and been doing this ever since. Like, we literally never saw people respond to it. So to see these comments is very surreal and like kind of feels like that was my career came full circle now. So yeah. Oh God, I can't believe it. Everybody on VFX Arts React is gonna go watch this thing now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I wanted this to be seen by like,
Whatever. You know, it's nothing. I don't care.
million people.
Let them see it. Let them see it.
Do you still have the files for the movie?
Yes.
So can we upload the movie entirely to the website right now?
We don't own the rights to the movie.
We don't own the rights to it.
We didn't pay. We didn't pay for it.
They paid us $2,000, Wren. With money like that, there's no way there's no way you could keep ownership of it. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
you can't. That was our price.
Big money speaks.
Yeah. We're not giving up rights. We're not giving up rights to this movie unless you give us $2,000 now, and they did it, and so signed it away.
Yep. And then Movie Central probably pay like $3,000 actually. So, you know. Hey, welcome back to another ending of a VFX Artist React video. But what if you didn't want it to end yet? That's right, on the website we have extended reacts. Wait, you've heard that before? What's the big deal? Well, remember that Tim Miller episode we had on YouTube? Your classic 20-minute episode on corridordigital.com. It was 55 minutes long. Because a lot of you have asked for us to make longer, more in-depth versions of these React episodes, and so we went hard. And now our React extended episodes are twice as long, 3 times as long as the episodes here on YouTube. It's all the raw, gritty knowledge that these incredible professionals that join us on this couch are sharing with us. And you get the episodes a day early. Oh wait, did you know that Son of a Dungeon has also completed its run and you can watch the entire show? Oh wait, Crew Cut Season 3 is just starting. Do you like The Office? What if I told you that there's basically The Office on corridordigital.com, but it's us, and it's all the crazy, wacky things that we have to do to run this business and make these videos. It's a perfect time to jump in. We got a free 2-week trial. Head on over to corridordigital.com and subscribe today.
We need more horror films to look at for next year's Halloween. Leave a comment down below to help us out for next year.
All right, what's up, guys? Bye-bye. Sorry. I'm losing it. Yeah, I'm good on scary movies.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy watching people just get mutilated.
I'm not a big fan either.
Me neither. We're not really good. That's our option.
This is what happens when we film at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow on this channel for Saw Rated G. Peace.